From new Japanese sets to old familiar products and possibly a new trademark. And here in the US, a new set to be revealed and seems to be gaining traction after all. And if that's not enough to talk about, there's also the grading companies in hot water once again. And while all this is going on, we still have problems at the Pokémon Center. This and much more in your week in Pokémon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping into the den, and tonight we start with Japan. It does seem that Japan has gone and trademarked a new set called Aura Seeker, and it is right here. Now, I'll be honest, we don't have a lot going on with this particular set as of now. It is only a rumor of a trademark, but it does seem to be focused off of Lucario, which is pretty cool because Lucario got a sick new Mega right there, Lucario Mega Z. Pretty cool. We'll see what this set has entail. Following that, we also have a full release of all of the base set cards as well as the EXs of Ninja Spinner. So we do have an understanding of what we're going to be getting for our Chaos Rising set here in the short months to come. Pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I actually got something related to Greninja not too long ago in another short series. Check it out on my YouTube. Anyways, Japan also seems to be bringing over a fan favorite product, the 151 figure collections that were given in China. These are little figurines that you would actually build, and then you get a promo card that will be placed into here. Here's a picture of one right here. There's actually a secret rare. I'm gonna put that one up there instead. So that product is actually being brought into Japan as well, which means that it is no longer a Chinese exclusive product, which means if you really like the figure collection, you might get a good discount on the Chinese side. Anyways, on to our next story. All right, guys, so now we're going to be talking about Perfect Order. You remember the set that was meant to crash everything? Well, check out that chart. Doesn't look like it's crashing much. If Perfect Order is going to stay over $200, I'm sorry, guys, this market is staying over $200 and MSRP is not coming. This is like Groundhog Day, but for cards. If this thing sees its shadow, we got many more weeks of winter. But that being said, we did get a cool little set of all the promos coming out of the Build and Battle pre-releases. Very cool. I personally don't mind this set. It doesn't have incredible things, but it does have some decent hits. I personally really want to get the Starmie. I would not, complain about getting that Zygarde though. That thing is pretty cool. So I wanted to talk about Perfect Order. It is coming, and we'll go on to our next story. With Perfect Order coming around the corner, obviously that also means that a new set is coming, and most people were assuming that it was going to be Chaos Rising. Now, last week, we did expect a drop, and there was a Pokemon Center queue. We all thought, this is it, the ETB is coming, but as of right now, that hasn't been the case. I don't even believe we've actually seen the official art for the ETB. Hey guys, post-editing here, and it does look like Chaos Rising did get announced and released with all the different artworks. You can see here we have a couple ETBs, the Pokemon Center and the standard one, as well as the booster box. I really like the Greninja being up at the top of the booster box. That thing's pretty cool. Exciting stuff. But Chaos Rising as a set release day, if that were to be true, was a disaster. The Pokemon Center completely crashed. Nobody could do anything. And once again, it seems that Pokemon being paralyzed simply skipped the release. We don't know what's going on at this time. I would keep your eyes on any Discord notification groups and or Twitter accounts that you may follow, as any day now we could be seeing that set get pre-ordered. So keep your eye out. And now we're going to be talking about probably the main portion of the stories tonight. We're going to be talking about our good old friends at PSA. If you haven't heard this already, there was a gentleman who got his Deoxys lenticular card reholstered by PSA. Now, not a big deal. It is a very low pop card, sitting around 1 in 30, but reholstering happens all the time with PSA. Nobody really, is worried about it, I guess. Everything seems fine, except for this time, this gentleman did get an email saying that his card was damaged in the reholstering process. Now, PSA said, hey, we're sorry about this. Our bad. We're going to go ahead and reimburse you for the value of the card. Sounds pretty reasonable. It is sad. These things do happen, except for one important detail. The reimbursed amount was not correct. So check out this quick little email right here. And I don't know if you took the time to actually pause that screen, but if you go back and read it, they offered him $20,000 for this Deoxys. Now, that's not a small amount of money. That's a good amount of money. However, it does seem that PSA is not pricing this card appropriately, as the last sale, which is shown right here, was $45,000. So why the discrepancy? This has opened up a lot of things. A lot of questions, people are looking into it. But the main thing out of all of this that has gotten people's attention was that PSA was actually trying to purchase him to shut up about it. If you read that email again at the bottom, it would also mean that he has to sign a non-disclosure form, meaning that he would not be able to talk about this. Obviously, he posted it. The community is in an uproar. It's a very interesting story, but PSA needs to explain why they priced it at $20,000 when they were the ones who sold it for $45,000. So PSA, like I said, is in some hot water once again. All right, my friends, and for our final story tonight, we're going to be talking about 151. Now, for the last 2 weeks, if you've been paying attention to the market, there's no way you missed it. 151 went parabolic. It went straight to the moon and passed it straight to Mars. It was insane. Some cards went from, $30 to $90 in a span of a day. Absolutely crazy. But for the most part, it's been gently cooling off. It does seem that the singles have started to come down. The sealed product, not so much. Sealed is holding firm at those price points. You might find the odd 10 available for a little bit of a discount, but as it sits now, it does seem that those booster packs are about $20 a pack raw, and I don't think that's going away. But if you did miss your chance before it started to go crazy, this might be your chance to get into 151 one final time. As the cards have started to come down and correct, we are seeing a 10 to 20% correction across the board. So you do have a moment at your next show to possibly grab one. And guys, I'm not one to say FOMO, but at this point, we are 1 month away from 151 being out of legal play, meaning that for the most part, it's probably not going to get printed anymore. We have more sets coming around the corner. Things have to move on. 151, I think, is done. So if you've been putting it off, this is your last chance, in my humble opinion. And with that, I have one last thing to talk about. Today, March 11th, was a Pokemon Center drop. We got prismatic bundles. That's it. We were expecting Ascended Heroes. We didn't get anything from that. No Chaos Rising, nothing. So again, keep your eyes peeled. Generally speaking, the Pokemon Center does not release too much on Thursdays and very, very rarely on Fridays. I can maybe count on one time that's ever happened. So I think we're in the clear. I've never seen anything get released on the weekend, but next week we should be expecting something incredible to get dropped. Other than that, I want to say thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Bye!